Farming can be very boom or bust. In the boom years, it can be a great business, right? That's part of the reason why people do it. We have a great vision of our farmers and we need them, but in a good crop, they make a lot of money. Could that be something that helps as well to get those domestic workers? Do you give them a bigger bonus in a big year where there's crops are more bountiful? I mean, how much would more pay get more Australians out there doing what you call can be pretty tough work, right?
It can be hot and cold and challenging. We think it's very rewarding. We do think it's the greatest industry in Australia, but we've got to do more, and that's part of the problem actually, Tom. As part of this job summit, we've actually got to make sure that people understand what the jobs are in agriculture, what the opportunities are, and we've got to do work with government to make sure that people know about those jobs. But to your point around paying workers, I mean, I would say that majority of agricultural workers get paid over and above the award rate anyway. So, we've got to keep looking at that, and it's a competitive market. As you say, the unemployment rate's at record lows. So the industry has to respond to that like every other industry.
Is there an inherent issue, though, with just the nature of the work? So many jobs have sort of got easier with tech, and some of these jobs, you just have to pick strawberries with your hands, like maybe there'll be a better way one day, but at that moment it's that repetitive, and I'm sure people get sort of RSI and all these sorts of things. Is that the tricky part to this, that if they look at any other job, it might have got a bit easier, but this work's still pretty tough?
Yes and no. There are definitely the jobs, picking oranges or picking mangoes and things that, it's hard manual labour at times. But there are a whole range of technologies and innovation in the ag sector that makes it possible to do a whole range of jobs. So marketing, legal, accounting, finance, so innovation, agtech. There's huge technology in the agriculture sector at the moment. So that means you don't actually have to pick mangoes all of the time if you don't want to.
Do people often progress? They start off at that picker level, and then could the bosses say, "Hey, I'll help you do a course to you're a great employer. I want you at the in the business for as long as possible, but I recognise you won't pick mangoes for 10 years."
It definitely does. It definitely does, but it doesn't happen often enough. And that's our agenda, is to make sure that we make the success stories and case studies that are working really well, expand and enhance those, amplify them to demonstrate that there are great jobs. Sure, you might have to start at the low level like most industries, but there is a huge career path for people that are interested in agriculture.
Because I guess that's a key thing. When you say like most industries, there are so many jobs. Journalism's one. You go in at a real entry-level job and you hope that you can work your way up to the job you always wanted, but that's not happening enough, you say, in ag. So is it an issue that there's almost this compartmentalised workforce of they can pick the fruit and do all that, and we'll just keep churning through them as much as possible? The industry's got to think a bit more about hanging on to them and saying, start here and end up here.
Yep, we definitely do, and we recognise that we have to do more about communicating the great roles and responsibilities and opportunities there are in agriculture, absolutely. And we'll be putting that forward for the Job Summit on the 1st and 2nd of September too.
So much towards there. What do you think? Is it going to be a talk fest? Are you excited about it? Is it a good opportunity?
We are genuinely excited about it. It's an opportunity for us to put on the table what we think will be solutions to a problem that we have been facing for some time. So we are going to make the most of every single minute that we spend at that Job Summit and put forward solutions. We're not there just to, whinge and complain. We are actively putting forward solutions that we think the government can do in the short term, the medium term and the long term.